You're listening to Heels on the Diamond, presented by Heels on Franklin. If this episode hits the mark, do us a favor. Like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support keeps the podcast rolling. You can find all episodes on the Heels on Franklin YouTube channel and on Spotify. So whether you like watching or listening, we've got you covered. Let's get into it.
Welcome into the latest episode of Heels on the Diamond. I am your co-host, and today I am laughing because I am blessed to be joined by Andrew Forrest. Andrew, how do you like that inside joke there?
I like it. I'm blessed that you're blessed. So as always, thank you for letting me, talk your ear off about baseball and softball.
Yeah, man. I love it. I'm so excited to be back on with you this week as I missed last week. I appreciate my guy Trevor for filling in, which a lot of people don't know because he's so into UNC football, but he's actually a big baseball junkie as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how Trevor does it. He has 3 kids, but he keeps up with every single sport. He'll send like highlights of like Hornets games, and I am in our group chat, and I'm like probably the guy you don't want to talk to the NBA about. I just don't watch it.
I'm right there with you.
I don't watch it. I don't really care for it. I think it's a terrible product. But anyway, we won't get into that. Just want to let y'all in on a little joke there of why I said blessed. Andrew and I, before every episode, a lot of times, definitely I do, I try to go back and look at players' names that we're going to talk about from opposing teams, sometimes on our own team as well, and videos trying to figure out how to pronounce their names right the right way, and a sign of just showing respect. However, unfortunately, I still get them wrong sometimes. And we were listening to a guy before we came on today together on a video, and the guy introed the player by saying that he was blessed to be joined with. So I thought that was an interesting the way to intro a podcast, and so I thought to joke with Andrew. Yeah. But look, it's good to be back with everybody. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I guess another inside joke we could say that tonight's lineup, or what's on tap, is hot dogs, RPI, and what was the other one?
Oh man,
Weather.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, that's it. Weather. Which kind of goes hand in hand with RPI. Maybe. Yeah,
a lot of interesting things to talk about with weather and RPI. I really wish that baseball baseball teams would really just come out and just be like, "Hey, we're canceling today's game because of RPI."
I'll give NC State credit. They canceled a game a couple days ago, and they didn't give a reason. They were just like, "Game's canceled." So I respect that. Carolina, other schools will be like, weather, travel issues. We'll come up with an excuse. But State was just like, nah, we're canceling the game.
I do live very close to Chapel Hill, and it was raining very, very, very hard. I don't know, 3 hours ago, maybe. So I don't know, but we can get into it a little bit later. But anyway, look, let's Andrew, first, let me ask you, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's I'm a teacher, so we're getting down to the last few weeks, and I'm excited. Summer's coming up. We're planning vacations right now. I was doing that before hopping on here tonight. So
you have to give me $50 if I can guess where you're going.
Oh, then you're already taking my money because I know you already know. But go ahead.
Going to Disney.
We are August. Disney. I'm a big theme park guy. So beyond just Disney, we're planning a trip up to Cedar Point. We got some family in Michigan who are going to drive down. I go to Carowinds 4 or 5 times a year. Going to go up to King's Dominion. So beyond just Disney, Disney's my favorite. But anytime I can get on a roller coaster, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah. You did share something about theme parks on your Twitter one time. You reposted it or quote tweeted it, and it had no likes. And I was like, because everybody follows him for Carolina sports. But I clicked on it just because I was interested. And so I read about a theme park or something. And then my algorithm thought that I needed theme park stuff. So for about 1 or 2 weeks, I just had theme park stuff happen in my algorithm. But But anyway, look, let's get into it. It's good to be back with everybody tonight. Shout out to Trevor, like I said, for hopping in last week. Look, do us a favor. We're a grassroots platform. We got about 40 tapped in right now. I was interested to see what type of numbers we would have tonight. It's been kind of a slow week with Carolina baseball, that is, and softball last week. Congrats to the softball team tonight, winning 4-2 in the ACC tournament against Clemson. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Shout out to Kendall Frost for the amazing performance of getting the Tar Heels started there on the mound. And then Jill Livingood, the freshman, local Carolina kid, just super impressive. I am really excited to see her future and to see her grow as a Tar Heel. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Does Carolina need to win another game? Do they need to win a few other games when it comes to softball to keep their season going as it relates to postseason play? They're in the NCAA tournament. We're going to talk about that. But let's hop in, Andrew. Andrew, let's start with Duke. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's been a little bit already since that's passed. So we want to give a little bit more time to the Pittsburgh breakdown and then Carolina softball. And so, Andrew, let's start with Duke, and let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Sunday, it feels like it's been a while. You know, they've had one game in 8 days. I threw up a tweet earlier saying that I'm going through withdrawals because I'm not able to watch much Carolina baseball. But Sunday, weird non-conference game against Duke, and they take care of business. 13-0 in 7 innings. Jason Nicaro gets the start. He goes 3. It was one of those games where I think Forbes just wanted to get guys some pitches, you know, some time on the mound. So Nicaro goes 3, only gives up 2 hits, has 4 Ks. Again, you know, he's been fantastic. Really, he had that kind of, you know, tough stretch mid-season, but since then he's been amazing. I didn't realize till I was looking it up, his ERA is down to 2.07. And I went back and looked at freshman year and last year, and his ERA is over a point lower than it was either season last year or the year before. But he goes 3. Lynch comes in, he goes 3, only allows 1 hit, has 5 strikeouts. We talked last week, me and Trevor, that if DeCaro and Lynch can pitch how they're pitching right now, this team in a 3-game series or, you know, in Omaha or even in a regional is going to be tough to beat. And then Caden Glauber comes in the 7th, goes one inning, no hits, 1 K. Just typical Caden Glauber. So fantastic pitching from 3 of your 4 top arms. And then at the plate, the former Duke Blue Devil, now who has seen the light, Macon Winslow, 3 for 4, 1 homer, a double, has 5 RBIs. Colin Heineck, who I am always amazed that he's got the speed he has as a catcher, goes 1 for 3 with his 3rd triple of the year. And every starter except 1 in the lineup had a hit. So just a fantastic game on the mound, fantastic game at the plate, and you end up beating Duke, run ruling them in 7 innings.
Good. I wanted to ask you kind of a random question because I won't own last week. Caden Glauber got the Sunday start against Duke. Was that Duke?
Yeah. It was a 22-5 blowout of Duke. Yep.
Yeah. What were your overall thoughts of that?
So at first, when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, I guess he's moving Glauber in there for good. But then I got to thinking, and I had a couple people reply. I threw up a tweet, a couple people responded. So that Sunday, Duke had 8 righties in the lineup. Folger Boaz is a lefty. Jackson Rose is a lefty. Really, that 3rd starting spot is between those 3 guys, Boaz, Rose, and Glauber. And I think it was more Forbes just was playing matchup. You know, he wanted a righty up against the 8 righties in the lineup. But I am very interested this week, Sunday against Pitt, to see who does he throw out there. You know, is it going to be a Glauber? Is it going to be a Rose? Is he going to try to maybe give him a weekend start and see how he does? Is he going to go back to Boaz? I don't really think there's a wrong decision, but it wouldn't shock me if any of the 3 guys is in that Sunday rotation or that Sunday spot. But I'm very excited and very interested and intrigued to see who Forbes throws out there this weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting this weekend, definitely with the 3-game series of Pitt, which is a very good offense. that we're going to talk about here shortly. So I think it's going to be interesting to see with them being such a good offense. Are they going to save Caden Glauber for relief work? Coming in and doing what he's done so well this year. Shout out to TJ Strickland over on YouTube, watching and listening. I enjoyed watching in person, seeing UNC take down Duke on Sunday. I did.
It's a good game to go to.
Yeah, I did as well, my friend. It was a lot of fun. I was my kid, I don't know, she was kind of like having herself a day. So they stayed up in the concourse. I did offer to help, like, hey wife, do you need any help? She said no. So I just stayed in my seat. I'm feeling bad now, like hearing myself.
Hey, you offered. That's all you can do.
I did offer. She likes to go in the museum, and like, if you don't know and you go with your kid to a game, you can go into the museum and you can get like a little it's not a badge, what's it called, a certificate, right, for your first Carolina baseball game. They've got pictures that you can draw and stay in there and get out of the heat a little bit, and you can get a piece of candy as well. So definitely check out the museum. But it was just really a good game to go to as a fan. Definitely, anywhere you sit, but definitely from my vantage point where I sit at, it's like right behind Forbes on third base. So just hearing the discussions and the exchanges of all the stuff was going on. It was just a great overall win there. I didn't really prefer the 2:00 start though.
See, I didn't go. You text me, hey, are you here? And I was like, you know what? I didn't want to make the drive, but I like 2:00 starts. I don't have to worry about going to the early service at church on Sundays. I can get out at 12, and I still got a couple hours to get there. But I see why someone would prefer. You want an earlier start, right? You're wanting 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like a 1 or even a 12. Like 12, 1. I'm good with a 1.
I do think 1's good too. 1's solid.
Shout out to Rev. 2 is nap time, definitely for a pastor like himself.
That's true.
So busy Sundays there. Shout out to Devin listening on YouTube. Good evening, fellas. Great day for softball. Yes, it was. We're going to talk about that here shortly. I like when the game, TJ says, I like when the game is at night. It is a whole different vibe. Yeah, for sure. Definitely on a Friday and Saturday. Love a night game at the Bosch. Night game on a Sunday, that's for the birds.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Saturday or Friday, sure. Sunday, no.
Yeah.
Sunday, I need afternoon.
Yeah, I definitely I like 1 because I feel like old guys saying this. I like get the game out of the way. Hopefully it's a win, and then you can have dinner and then go to bed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, but nothing beats what was it, the Oklahoma game last year? That night game against their ace Witherspoon. I think it was Case and Witherspoon. Man, that was an electric atmosphere. Then we had the West Virginia game, Honeycutt's walk off a couple years ago. So night games at the Bosch are special. Yeah,
look at you and Rev tapped in together talking about regional night games.
Great minds think alike.
I will say, in all the Carolina sports history, and I'm going to get too far off topic, but because we do have an opportunity. I know, Rev, come at me for saying this, but we do have an opportunity to have a shorter episode tonight because we're not recapping which all this side talk that we're doing now for the past 10 minutes is filling in for the
always take the over.
Yeah, always take the over. I will say this is the last thing I'll say before, and then we'll transition over to our Pitt preview, is that out of all the fantastic games and wins in Carolina sports history that I've seen personally or been at, the Vance Honeycutt hit there, I believe that game was at nighttime, was just, in my opinion, just one of the most unbelievable experiences to be a part of as a Carolina fan. Were you there for that?
I was. Shout out if you follow him on Twitter, Jordan Falls. He showed up at the Bosch. They had some standing room only tickets they were going to sell, and you had to be there like super early. And he stood in line and got me too. And he'd already gone into the ballpark to the Bosch. And I got there, and he came to the gate and reached across and gave them to me. So shout out to him because that was a phenomenal game to be at.
Because you didn't have season tickets that year, right? You do now.
Yeah, my first year with season tickets was the year after.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, that experience, man, there were people I did not know that everybody around was just like hugging each other
Yeah.
and like celebrating.
And I will say, hey, that opener against Long Island was very similar. You had Gallagher's grand slam, like that whole 2024 run. I was always, I've always for a long time really been into Carolina baseball, following it closely, but I think that run to Omaha there, like it made it where like it went beyond just fandom into like pure love for Carolina baseball.
Gotcha. See, look, everybody's just synced in. Devin talking about Gavin's walk off there against Long Island, typed it out right before you mentioned it. Let's see here. Rev said I was going wild in the living room. All right. Well, look, let's get into this. I want to ask you though, before we transition here really quick, is this bracketology up to date?
It is. I updated it
Okay.
this afternoon.
All right. Gotcha. Cool. Well, before I do get into this, I want to mention wherever you're listening from, be sure to, give Hills on Franklin a follow, subscribe. Definitely on YouTube. We're trying to grow that platform. Shout out to everybody that is a subscriber of Hills on Franklin YouTube. We surpassed 2,000 subscribers today. It was just June, either May or June of last year. We had 64 subscribers.
Man,
So
what is that? 11 months, 12 months?
Yeah, do that percentage increase, teacher.
Hey, I'm not a math teacher, so I'll just tell you that's really good, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, there we go. So, look, we shout out everybody for being a part of what we like to call the Hills on Franklin family. It means a lot to us. You can also catch all these episodes over on Spotify. Also, do us a favor, share this stream out, give it a retweet. Haven't had many so far. We usually have about 200 and so tapped in. Helps out, goes a long way. It's definitely as a grassroots platform. All right, let's talk about bracketology. Andrew's got the updates for us here. As of May the 5th, D1 Baseball has UNC as the number 5 national seed with a host playing to Cincinnati, High Point, which I'm not a big fan of there, and Penn. Andrew, dig in a little bit deeper here. What's your overall thoughts of where D1 Baseball has bracketology? And I know you got a little bit further notes on this.
Yeah, the one thing that really kind of surprised me here is that D1 Baseball has Georgia as the number 3 national seed, and that's ahead of Carolina and then Texas at the 4. And the reason why it's surprising is Georgia's RPI is currently 16th. So you have Carolina. I think I got it pulled up in another tab. Texas's RPI right now is number 3, and Carolina is sitting at number 6. So D1 Baseball's got Georgia, who's currently 16th in RPI. There's a 3 seed. The only thing I can think of here for why they've got them so high is that Georgia is first place in the SEC right now. And I guess they're expecting them to either win regular season championship, conference championship, the conference tournament, or both. But that really opens up a good question, with your committee who, makes the bracket. If you have teams that are really close like this, what's the deciding factor? Is it going to be conference record and how well they do in the conference tournament, or are they going to look more at net and RPI? What's going to be the biggest factor here? And so I could see arguments for both. I would put Texas right now as the 3, Carolina as the 4, and I would actually have Auburn at the 5 ahead of Georgia, simply because of net and RPI. But I can see the argument for Georgia. But the one thing, in addition to this, that kind of surprises me is not really surprises me, but Cincinnati is the 2. Cincinnati's, you think of Cincinnati, you don't really think of baseball up there in Ohio. No offense, Rev. I know you're an Ohio guy. But they're playing some really good baseball right now. Cincinnati could be a scary 2 seed in the Chapel Hill Regional if that does end up happening.
You said Cincy?
Yeah. Cincinnati's playing some really good baseball right now.
Yeah. And I will say, a lot of teams are getting hot. Do you feel like Carolina is still hot?
I do. You look at the Coastal.
I feel crazy. Game. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I feel crazy because I want to preface. I don't want to get clipped. Actually clip me. It's whatever. I've come to terms with that in podcasting. That helps me. I used to get like not helps me, but like it's part of the deal, right? Like I used to get offended by that, but oh, you're wrong. Hey, I threw my opinion out there.
I'm just glad you're listening. Like if you care enough to clip me, thank you.
Or if you care enough that you tune into our episodes for 3 to 4 weeks in a row.
You Florida State fan, if you're out there right now.
Yeah, hey, appreciate the view. Give it a like. Give it a like while you're there.
Yeah, man. Pop in the comments.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Shoot me a DM if you ever need to know how to start a podcast for FSU. Since you're really dedicated to the program. But I should preface that comment by I feel so ridiculous even asking that question with such the dominating win over Duke. But I try to put it in perspective that we were 3-1 against Duke this year, right? Yeah. And Duke has just not been dominant, with a good sample size throughout which the sample size is to this point, right? Yeah. Since the beginning of the year. So do you feel like Carolina baseball is still hot?
I do. With that said, though, it wouldn't shock me if they come out a little rusty this weekend. You've had one game in 8 days. Your other game, in 10 days was a blowout loss to Coastal. Me and Trevor talked last week. That Coastal game was close through, the 7th inning? I mean, that was still a fairly close game until late when Coastal kind of ran away with it. Coincides with them running out of hot dogs. I think that was a bit of karma. But I do think Carolina's still hot. Like I said, I think Friday could be one of those games where 4th, 5th inning, we're sitting there like, man, why haven't the bats gotten going yet? And then they kind of come alive. It wouldn't shock me if they're a little rusty coming out the gate. But, hey, we're just 2 weeks away from taking a series against Georgia Tech, who, even though Carolina beat them, I'm going to go on the limb here, I still think Georgia Tech's the best team in the country. If right now you had to say, Andrew, who is dogpiling the mound in Omaha June, 21st, 22nd, I'm picking Georgia Tech. No offense to UCLA, to Texas, to UNC, to Auburn, to Georgia. I just think they're the best team. We're 2 weeks away from winning that series. So Carolina, to me, still hot. But, hey, let's just get back out on the field because I think, like you said earlier, it's been quiet lately because we're having all these games canceled. So let's just get back out on the field and swing the bats a little bit.
Yeah. Whether it's weather or not weather, it has boded in our favor to cancel these games. Yeah. The question should be asked and maybe not should be answered tonight for a later time. But something to think is, what is the fix if the committees decide to stick with RPI for midweek games as the season goes on, where RPI becomes such a big factor in your postseason seeding? So what is the fix?
Yeah, I mean, you look at college basketball.
No. If they stay with RPI,
okay.
What is the fix? With midweek games, is there a fix?
Yeah, I don't agree with this.
What are you going to do? Schedule Texas?
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that
late in the year. I mean,
I'll say this: somebody, and I don't agree with it, but somebody on Twitter the other day responded to I put up a tweet about after the Queens game was canceled. And he said something like, you should automatically drop 5 RPI points if you cancel a game like this. You can't do that because, it's like today. I mean, you could make a legitimate gripe that, weather was the reason why. Yeah, it kind of moved out. They could have gotten the game in. If this was an ECU, if this was a conference game, Coastal, this game is not canceled today. But so I don't know if there's a fix. I mean, we've seen this for years. Anytime there's a Power 4 team that's either on the bubble or in the conversation to host, they seemingly, hey, like I told Trevor last week, the bus breaks down, the whole team has the flu, there's a 2.3% chance of rain, and they cancel games. And if you're going to use RPI as a factor or a big factor, and RPI is a very flawed system, then this is what you're going to have to deal with. So until the committee goes away from focusing so much on RPI, this is going to continue.
Yeah, there's no way you can. While I do actually like that theory, it's just will not be good in practice to give teams -5 points for canceling games because it's so subjective, right? Like if it's raining 3 hours to game, what committee or whatever deciding factor it may be says, oh, well, your field was good enough, right? Where in that deciding office might be 3 states away, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so much. I mean, you're going to be asking for lawsuits. I shouldn't go down that far, but like, I probably shouldn't have said that, but like, you know what I mean, right? You're opening up yourself to so much more issues that
Somebody
shouldn't be
tears an
there.
ACL rounding the bases and it rained 2 hours prior. Even though the field was covered, they could say, well, we played because the committee was going to drop us 5 points. Yeah, you're opening a can of worms by doing that. But like I said, unless you stop using the RPI as such a major metric in college baseball, it's not going to happen. Or I don't know. I don't like RPI. It's a super flawed metric. Any metric that drops you for winning, no matter who the opponent is I got an issue with that.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I said winning, if you listen to any of these episodes for a good amount of time, or Hills on Franklin in general, you know that I enjoy reading about NIL and like lawsuits. Like I'm one that went down the rabbit hole with Mensa and Duke and like downloaded the whole lawsuit and like read it. Not the whole thing, but like read, because you could do that, it's like free to the public to go online and like download, and like saw his NIL sheet, was like, reading and researching. I just love that stuff. And I was reading something earlier about NIL, so maybe that's why I said lawsuits. But look, here's the perfect fix. I think Rev gives it to us right here. First, he's got something to tell you. He says, I am in Ohio. I am not an Ohio guy. So that's an important distinction there. I feel like we know like Rev, like we're best friends or something. But I mean, look, Rev, we are best friends. We just don't, you don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, Rev right here comes back to, this is the perfect fix. Like you said, nope, not this one. RPI has to stay the same at a minimum as a win. You should never.
I think that's the only option.
You should never lose RPI for a win.
Yeah.
Rev says BFS. Devin with a good comment here. She said that loss to Coastal took some wind out of our sails, and not having a series to win since hasn't helped. I think we will be fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. That Coastal game was not fun, not just because they ran out of hot dogs, but but yeah, that was a tough game. Like I said, it was close late, but
look, you can't be canceling games. Okay. Anyway, look, I'll just throw that out the window. You can't have a promotional night for, was it $1 hot dogs?
Yeah,
$1 hot dogs, and run out in the what, third inning?
Third inning. Either they ran out or they capped it. Either way, it's terrible.
Like I said earlier, you are opening up yourself to lawsuits from Andrew.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, look, my best friend's a lawyer. And I texted him that night. I was like, hey man, like he's up there in Wisconsin now, but I said, I may need you to come home for a little while, because I may need your legal counsel, because this is unacceptable. And look, I love Carolina. I don't like throwing them under the whatever the saying is. I don't like giving them a hard time for this, but you got to do better. I will say something funny made me laugh today. So they had the graphic saying that the Winthrop game was canceled because of weather, and then they were just getting absolutely fried in the comments. I mean, everyone was like, "This is an RPI play," and they just simply replied to their own tweet with a video of the field covered in the tarp, it raining. No words, nothing, just the video of the rain. I was like, man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, somebody's like 3 hours before the game. Cool. Also, there was 2 things wrong with your sentence or explanation. There's that I do not live in Wisconsin and I am not a lawyer. You don't get it?
Oh, because you're my best friend. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
there we go.
One of my longest friends. I'll say that. He is a Duke fan though, so he may not be the one to trust for legal counsel concerning Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, a Duke fan that lives in Wisconsin. Go figures.
He's from here. He is from here, so I'll give him that.
I mean, you got blocked by a Duke fan yesterday. That's a Notre Dame football fan, a Notre Dame grad, and a UPenn graduate.
Yeah. Like, dude, we can have some discourse. We can have a back and forth.
He should just go for the trifecta, be a Cowboys fan and a Yankees fan.
Well, now. You got to throw Lakers in there too, but I'll say this. Yeah. Look, I'm going to defend, you guys know I'm a huge Cowboys fan. Yes, in the 90s, there were tons of bandwagon fans, but they've been bad for 33 years now. There's no bandwagons fans left. If you're a Cowboys fan now, like myself, dude, it's awful. I hate being a Cowboys fan. It's like one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life, right? No one who's a Cowboys fan nowadays is bandwagon. I'm just going to throw that out there. I hate being a Cowboys fan, but I'm too invested, too far in. And I blame my mom, my grandpa, because it's their fault.
All right. Well, look, let's transition to our Pitt overview. I do recognize what you're saying, Andrew. I just didn't have a good response back. So that's what I got for you on that. Caleb Downs, though, Rev says in the comments. That's how we'll transition. I hated that, because I'm a Washington fan that y'all got Caleb Downs. But anyway, Pitt overview and history. First, the question must be asked Andrew and Rev and Devin, to the ones that are in the comments, and TJ if he's still here. Is Pittsburgh a trap series?
Yes, it is. I mean this with all due respect. I don't mean this like in a mean or demeaning way. But when I was, I've watched Pitt a few times. I try to watch as many of the ACC teams as I can when they don't coincide with Carolina games. And I've always been extremely impressed with their offense. And so, again, no disrespect with this. This is a compliment. But Pitt's offense reminds me of a Walmart store brand version of Georgia Tech.
Bro.
Like, I don't mean that in a bad way. Like,
it's cannot use.
I promise you it's a compliment.
The statement, I do not mean no disrespect, and Walmart can't go together.
They're not as flashy as Georgia Tech, but when you look at the stats, like,
at least
they
give
put
them
up
Target.
a ton of runs. Target.
Or
but
Costco.
I love Target.
You get free samples at Costco.
Hey, Costco's hot dogs, $1.50. That deal is still only $1.50. Everything else is increased in price, but Costco's hot dogs. Shout out to the CEO of Costco. But yeah, I mean, it's not as flashy as Georgia Tech, but their offense is really good. We'll get into that here in a minute. And they're really fun to watch. Like, again, they're not as good as Georgia Tech. They don't have the pitching Georgia Tech has by any means, but they are a store brand. No, I'm a Diet Mountain Dew guy, but they're what's the Food Line brand? Dr. Thunder. They're the Dr. Thunder version of Georgia Tech's offense. And I mean that in the most complimentary way. If that makes sense.
I really hope you get clipped. Hold on. I'm looking something up before I say it. Look, do you remember back in early April, what happened the last time that you tried to throw sage? What's the word I'm looking for there?
Shade.
Yes. Sorry, I have a dog named Sage, but shade at an ACC team in a way that I think you started the sentence out with. I mean, no disrespect.
Yeah, I do. It was Boston College, and they've done nothing since then but be the third best team in the ACC. So, hey, maybe they heard what I said, and that was the motivation they needed. When they're in the weight room, they're out on the field practicing, they just think about what I said in the back of their head. So I'm going to take the credit for BC's fantastic season, even though I have nothing to do with it. But yeah, I mean, if Pitt wants to use this as motivation, then by all means, just wait till next week. Don't do it this weekend.
Yeah, don't do it this weekend. All right, shout out to a couple of listeners. Here's someone over on YouTube, a Tar Heel for Life. Dude, that's a
good name.
Good name. At least it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a bunch of letters that you get up here a lot. But a Tar Heel for Life, we see them, commenting on a lot of our shows. So we appreciate you tapping in. Jeff Blackwood, of course, is listening. Him and I are recording an episode tomorrow for Carolina Olympic Spotlight. Shout out to Devin again in here. Trevor Williams, Heels 365. I wonder
Who's that guy? Who's that?
I wonder if that is not his normal YouTube name, though. I don't think. So shout out to Trevor, if that is the Trevor Williams that I know. Rev, I do have to give you your flowers here because I got that question from your first comment. Pitt equals trap series. So shout out to Rev. I stole that from him to add some flavor to the show tonight. Shout out to Jay Suggs 86. Don't have the pitching, but has the defense. UNC. I cannot talk tonight. UNC should win, but I can see UNC give up a close game in game 2. Why game 2? Why not game 1 or game 2 or game 3? Why game 2?
I'll say this about game 2. Ryan Lynch, if you go back and look at the box scores throughout the season,
yes,
he's gotten very little run support this season. And it's funny because we were at the Duke game, the one game Carolina lost. And I didn't realize until about the 4th inning that Ryan Lynch's mom was sitting right in front of us. And I mentioned this last week, man. She was locked in, like she was focused. But I look over and I mentioned to the person next to me. I said, "Yeah," I said, "Man, Lynch has gotten like no run support this year." And you see her turn around. She's like, "Tell me about it." And then she just turns right back around. So, and then like an inning later, I realized that was his mom. But she was laser focused.
Hey, we do have parents that watch the show, so you've had a couple come up to you this year, right?
Yeah, Perry Hargett's mom, and
yeah, she
Cooper
got
Nicholson's
after you.
dad.
Yeah, she got after you on Twitter one time.
Hey, I deserved it. It's okay. I can take it.
All right, so where are we at? This is a good one tonight. I needed this tonight. Tough week. Anyway, look, Pitt overview in history. Head coach Mike Bell, 189 and 192 there for his overall record. So a little bit under 500. 8th season at Pitt, was hired in the summer of 2018 after 7 seasons as the pitching coach at Florida State. Andrew, give me a little bit more about the head coach. What do you think that he brings overall to this Pitt offense that is doing so well? But I think we'll talk about it on the pitching side.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising because Pitt's their calling card this year is their offense, and he's definitely more of a pitching coach. I mean, that's what he's done his whole career. He was a pitcher in college. He pitched in JUCO ball, and then he transferred to FSU, and they made back-to-back trips to Omaha. So you would think that it may be the other way around, that Pitt's pitching is really good and the offense is a little bit far behind, but it's actually the other way around. So I give him, I don't know kind of what his day looks like, but I'm sure he definitely still has, a big reason for the offense success is because of Mike Bell. I'm stuttering like crazy tonight. But yeah, I mean, he's a good coach. Like I said, a little under 500, but he's building Pitt into a solid program. It's been kind of a slow and steady climb.
I was about to say, like, building is like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been a quick build. If this was college basketball, he would have been out after year 3, year 4. He would have got the hook. College baseball, they give you some more time. But over the last few years, Pitt's gotten a little bit better. And again, they're one of those places. It's up north. It's cold. It's hard to win. You look at a place like BC. That's why it's so incredible what they're doing this year, because they're up there. It doesn't get warm there until tax day, April 15th, right? So yeah, I got to give him credit. But Pitt's solid. Again, pitching's not going to scare you. Carolina's going to score some runs this weekend, but they've got some serious bats that if Carolina's pitchers aren't on their A game like they were against Georgia Tech, Pitt can make them pay. So this is going to be a fun series for sure.
Yeah, let's go ahead and tap into the head-to-head, and I'll just take this one, Andrew, and then I'll let you tap into the overall for Pitt this year. Since 2014, UNC has been on the winning side of things with a 22-12 record against Pitt, 13-2 at home, and 9-1 over the last 10 meetings. That's like a NC State versus Carolina in football, feels like.
We don't need to bring that up.
Not sure why I went there. The two teams last met in 2025 for 3-game series in Pittsburgh. UNC looks to take 2 of the 3 in the series. What's your overall thoughts this year of Pitt baseball as it relates for, like we've talked about, they got a good offense, but I really want you to dig in a little bit deeper into their pitching staff.
Yeah. So their pitching staff, I was going back and look, I like to go back about a month to 4 to 5 weeks when I'm putting together these kind of previews and look at their pitchers. Obviously, are they lefty or are they righty? Carolina, we want more righties. But then I also look at, their Friday, Saturday, Sunday guys. Are they, have they been consistent lately? Have they been struggling lately? Pitt was weird. I went back and looked. Their pitching staff's been in flux. They've had numerous guys fill that role as Friday starter. Yeah, shout out Carolina softball. We'll get to that in a minute.
Hey, that was like the first thing we mentioned tonight.
It was. Yeah, big win. We'll go into detail here in a bit about that. But Pitt's pitching staff's been weird. I mean, they've had 2 or 3 guys as their Friday starter. Their Saturday guy, there hasn't been a Saturday guy. They've had almost bullpen style games almost every Saturday over the last month and a half, where one guy will go an inning or two, another guy will go an inning or two. One guy, comes in and they play lefty matchup and they go somebody else. So I really don't know what we're going to see this weekend against Pitt. I'm pretty sure their Friday guy, I know who that's going to be. We'll talk about him here in a minute. But Pitt can throw anything to you this weekend, but their pitching staff's not going to scare you. Carolina, like I said, they're going to score some runs, and it's just a matter of if Carolina's pitching staff is doing what they've done over recent weeks, Carolina has the upper hand. And if not, if they come out rusty, this could be like Rev said, a trap series.
Yeah, Andrew, how do you feel about kind of just skipping the team rankings part?
That's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I mean, just do it very briefly. I want you to make sure you get in all the hard work notes that you put into this. Okay. Andrew's like, you better let me do this section.
No, I don't care. We can skip whatever. I know. Hey, I know we want to talk softball. I know. I know. So currently Pitt is 42 in the net. They are an RPI of 49, 5-9 in quad 1 wins. If you look at D1 baseball and Baseball America's bracketology, I think they both have Pitt as, I put in the notes, one of the last 4 in. I think that's right. So this is a series that Pitt desperately needs. If they want to be on selection day, sitting there comfortably, feeling pretty good about themselves and not on the edge of their seats, are they getting in? Are they not? They need this series. We talked about it a couple weeks ago with Clemson when they were desperate that, you're going to get their A game. They're going to give you a good fight, and we're going to see this weekend. But they're, let's see, 10-14 in the ACC, so they've struggled in conference, but they're 28-18, currently 10th in the ACC. So again, a team that Carolina should beat, but you never know when it's A, you've been off for a while, like Carolina has, and B, when it's a desperate team who needs a desperate series win, anything can happen. So Carolina has to bring their top tier game this weekend.
Well, definitely when it comes down to analytics, right, and just the overall right performance numbers for, like, if you're playing MLB The Show or Madden or whatever it may be, and they have the overall score, the offense, defense, whatever it is, Carolina's going to have that overall score for talent or best team overall, right? Yeah. And so it really seems like, this is a series that Carolina should win, right? But as we know, baseball and softball, right? It comes in the essence and flows of life, right? It's some days you have it and some days you don't. So you would like to have it more days than that you don't. But I mean, the pitching here for Pitt, I mean, like you said,
good. It's not good.
No disrespect, but ERA of overall of 5.8, that's just not great at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, more times than not, Carolina's offense has been cooking.
Yeah. The only thing that Pitt's pitching really has going for it is I don't think, let me see. What did I put their walks? I don't think they walk a ton of guys. Okay. So, they give up a lot of hits. They do strike out very few. They are dead last in the ACC in strikeouts at 351. So this is going to be a series where if Carolina just makes contact, good things happen. And we know with Carolina, we've seen it time and time again. We saw it with Indiana. We saw it, really multiple times this season. Put the ball in play, then it's in the defense's hands, and anything can happen. So that is another factor that bodes well for Carolina, is the fact that Pitt doesn't strike out many guys.
Yeah, I mean, you could sometimes maybe have that game, right, where I think it was game 2 against Duke at Duke where the bats just fell asleep for Carolina. That was game 2, right?
Yeah.
You know, you could have a game like that, but more case than not, if Carolina's pitching is off, it could turn out into a shootout, right?
Yeah. I could see this being similar to the Notre Dame series. You know, Carolina swept that series on the road up in Notre Dame, but that was a series where Notre Dame scored a lot of runs. The pitching was not anything special that weekend for the Hills, but then Carolina's bats were just even better. So I could see that again. We could see, you know, some 8-6 games, 9-7. It wouldn't shock me at all. But Carolina is not, in my opinion, going to struggle to score runs at all. Again, they could have an off game, like you said, like they had against Duke in game 2, but it really bodes all of this kind of bodes well for Carolina, where again, on paper, this is a series they should win. But again, desperate team, who knows?
Yeah, TJ says maybe UNC bats will be hot like they did in the Duke game. UNC needs this, in my opinion. I can see UCLA getting 2 losses these next 2 matchups. Oregon is sneaky. I agree with that for sure. And a dark horse, and then turn around and play at Washington, which can sneak up on teams for sure. Definitely agree with all that. Let's go ahead and talk about our key players for Pitt. Man, only like 2 series for, and then, you know, we can, as we get into postseason play, we'll be doing this as well. Yeah. But you know, if you're new to Hills on the Diamond, we give our key players that we think that you should be able to look out for. So when you're watching on TV, or if you're at the game in person this weekend on Chapel Hill, you're not just going to the game just to watch baseball, which is great, right? I mean, that's what you're going for. But you know potentially when that key player that you need to be watching for steps up to the plate, right? Or takes that mound. I enjoy watching the game of baseball or any sport where I know a little bit more of the backstory of the opposing team, a lot more than I just go blindly. So let's talk about our first one here. Lorenzo Carrier, outfielder, one of the top performers here for Pittsburgh. Outfielder here, Andrew. What's your over? Whoa, why does that look like that? That's not supposed to look like that. There we go.
I'm loving the USA Baseball.
Hey, you know me. I like change it up.
Yeah. So Carrier is a transfer from Miami. He was at Pitt last year. He's obviously there again this year. I told Chris before he hopped on that Carrier may be, and this is no disrespect to a Von Lackey or somebody like that, or a Tage Davis at Louisville, but I think Carrier may be the best hitter in the ACC. I was looking kind of at his stats last year compared to this year. He's had a huge jump in everything. His average has gone up, currently over 110 points from where it was last year. His OBP has gone up 136 points. He's already had 11 more homers this year than last year and 27 more RBIs. So whatever he did during the offseason, that workout routine is really paying dividends because he's been fantastic. But not only does he have good power, he's a big guy. He's 6'5", I think 215, but he's very patient at the plate. He doesn't chase a lot of pitches. He leads the ACC in both on-base percentage at 540 and in walks. So this is a guy that he can hit that big-time homer when need be. But, hey, if he just needs to get on base, he can do that as well. Like I said, he's not going to chase pitches. He's not going to – you're going – if you strike him out, you've done something really impressive because he's a really good blend of both power and plate discipline. So I think he's the best hitter in the ACC this year.
Yeah, Andrew, and you also have a note here, too. His average has jumped 110 points from last season, hitting 268 last year. That's incredible.
I'm telling you, I don't know, who his trainer is in the offseason, what he's done in the weight room, but whatever it is, whatever's clicked for him, it has clicked big time because the jump across the board he's made. I mean, 268 is nothing to laugh at. Like that as a power 4 hitter, that's decent. But to go from 268 to well over 300 and to get his on-base percentage up 136 points, that's incredible. I mean, absolutely fantastic.
I mean, somebody's trying to get themselves drafted here.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be, being a fifth-year senior, he'll be a later round pick. If this was a guy who was, say, a junior, he'd be a first-round pick. I think he'd be a first-round lock. But he's going to get drafted, and some team is going to get a steal getting him, in a later round, because the guy, if he can translate this to the minors, he's legit.
Yep. Talking about minors, if you're still interested in following Carolina ball players that make their way to the minor leagues, right? And then also players like Michael Bush, some of the pitchers as well, Jeff Blackwood, who's part of the Hills on Franklin family here, puts up almost daily pro Hills and puts out all the stats from the previous game. He looks it up and tweets it out. So that's something that you should follow him for. I love it when he puts that stuff out.
He'll even, like, if there's like not a game for anyone that day, he'll put like none played. Like, he'll even throw that. Like, he'll make sure hey, no stats today because no Carolina alums played. Like,
yeah,
he's good.
Yeah, but here we go right here. Rev saying, yes, sir, Blackwood is clutch. So let's go ahead and talk about our next one, infielder, which goes by the first name of Caden. Caden's another good guy, good player here. Definitely on the defensive side of the ball, but hitting 363 on the year, second on the team behind Carrier with an on-base percentage of 443. Andrew, what's some things that we need to look a little bit further on when it comes to Caden?
Yeah, Caden Doolan has good power. 12 homers on the year, 11 doubles. But he also, 363 solid. But he led Pitt in batting average last year. So this is a guy who has been consistent over a couple of years. He's not as flashy. He's not going to put up the gaudy numbers that a Carrier's put up this year. But this is a guy that he kind of gets overlooked because of Lorenzo Carrier, but is still just a really good, really consistent hitter. Good gap power. He'll hit one to the wall, but he can hit him out when need be. But really their entire lineup is like I said, I think next to Georgia Tech, they have the best offense in the ACC. Just solid. They've got really guys that hit for average, but also have power. You get a guy on first and second, it could very easily be a 3-run homer. If they're down 5-3, 5-2, one swing of the bat, they're right back in the game. So Caden Doolan, he doesn't get the love and the attention that a Carrier gets or some of these other guys, but he's definitely one of their better, more consistent bats too. And cool fact about him is that I like to put these little factoids in here. Before transferring to Pitt, he was a Division III national champion and the College World Series MVP at Rowan College, South Jersey 2 years ago. So he's won. He's a winner.
He's a winner.
Just hopefully not this weekend.
Dude, I was literally about to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Took my line. Jay Suggs in here. Thank you for joining us tonight, Jay Suggs. Definitely seen Jay Suggs on a couple of our shows before. Appreciate you tapping in and being part of the Hills on Franklin family. For Pitt, Luke Cantwell. Dude, Jay Suggs in here with the knowledge.
Yeah, man. He's pulling out names that, the average fan doesn't know.
That didn't make Andrew's cut.
Yeah.
We got Ethan here, Carrier for UNC, Caden Glauber, Macon Winslow, and Kane Kepley.
Yeah.
I like it.
Some good names. I think me and Trevor might have touched on it last week. Carolina's success rate at center field. You've gone from Vance Honeycutt, who
Unreal.
Arguably, again, maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment, but I think maybe the best player in Carolina baseball history, and there's been quite a few. Vance Honeycutt. I think he may be.
Well, you went Kepley to that really quick, so that's why I was
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, Vance Honeycutt in center for 3 years, and there's others. You've got Dustin Ackley out there. You've got BJ Surhoff back in the day, Walt Weiss. We've had some great players, but he may be the best ever, maybe in my opinion. But you go from Honeycutt to Kane Kepley.
That's like a debatable discussion, though. You can't just throw that out there and not.
I'm sorry.
I think one of the GOATs of Carolina baseball for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it though.
Yeah, it's a perfect blend of speed on the bases.
He had a high strikeout.
Defenses. He did have a high strikeout rate, and that's the one knock. That's really, I think, the one thing that's kind of holding him back currently is that he strikes out at a higher clip than you would like. But you go from him to Kane Kepley last year in his one season, who was an absolute menace on the base paths, hit for a good average, walked a ton, was fantastic in center field defensively, And now we've gone to Owen Hull, who I think is the best hitter on the team. And so Carolina's success rate at center field these last 4 years has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm not sure if K-Rev is talking or K-Rev. I've been typing out K-Red from our episode with Kevin Reddick.
That was good. That was good. Yep.
Thanks, man. Kevin Reddick goes by K-Red. So that's fine. But Rev here is saying, LL bro, Honey is in the convo. Oh, for sure. I'm not sure if this is a comment towards Andrew or me. I wasn't saying he's not in the convo.
No,
he's definitely top 3. I just need to look at the overall picture because like it's easy to be it's easy to get caught up in the recent past, right? Definitely with Honeycutt, because there was so many like moments of greatness that took us to the next game, right? In his later part of his career. And defensively, I mean, like one of keyword to do it, right? In a Carolina uniform in center field. Like even if you go back to his early years on the field, just phenomenal play. But Dustin Ackley, but yes, Honeycutt is making the combo for sure. That's Jay Suggs' comment there.
Hey, I'm going to put a pin into this for maybe an off-season episode, when it's kind of slow, maybe, August when not a lot's going on. I know you got football coming up, but when it's kind of quiet, maybe we can hop on here and have it. I'm a big fan of countdowns, right? So have like a top 10 list. I have my top 10. You have your top 10. We debate who are the top 10 players in Carolina baseball history and see kind of where we differ and where we're in agreement.
Okay. So you're telling me to shut up?
No, I'm just saying I think that would be a cool episode. I do.
I know. I'm just playing. Look, let's go ahead and get to our left-hand pitcher. Here we go. What you got, Andrew?
Yeah, Antonio Doganero. Again,
that's the guy's name we looked up. He's got to be a dog if his name starts like that.
Really cool name. Antonio Doganero. Fantastic name. But like I said earlier, Pitt's rotation this year's been weird. I mean, Doganero, he's been their Friday guy the last 2-3 weeks, but earlier in the year he was not. I'm pretty sure he'll be the starter on Friday. He's been kind of up and down, but again, he's a lefty. So I'd be shocked if he's not who takes the mound for Pitt come Friday evening. But he's a guy. Numbers aren't bad. 5-3 on the year, 3.89 ERA. He's made a few midweek starts, made a few weekend starts. Has a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio, 42 strikeouts to 18 walks. So the command's decent. 8.6 strikeouts per 9. And again, he's a left-handed pitcher. Now we've talked kind of ad nauseum over this entire season that Carolina has had games where tricky lefty has given them problems. So this could be, if Pitt is going to steal one, game 1 may be the one to do it. And they kind of put Carolina up against the ropes with that, get maybe a game 1 win where if Carolina wants to win the series, they got to win the last 2. So Friday's not going to be easy by any means. It's going to be a tough series overall, but with Doganero on the mound Friday, I think that could be a very, very tight game.
Gotcha. Well, good stuff. Look, if you can't make a game this weekend, I hope you do. It's going to be beautiful at the Bosch. Hopefully, actually, I say that I haven't even looked at the weather, but anytime you can get at the Bosch,
I think it is, yeah,
and it's not pouring, it's a good time for sure. So, Andrew, you gonna make any games this weekend?
I'll be there Sunday. We're having a yard sale on Saturday, so I'm busy getting stuff ready for that. So Saturday's out. Friday will probably be getting the yard sale stuff ready. So, but I'll definitely be there Sunday. Hey, I got to pay for Disney somehow, man.
I mean, but you're just setting yourself up for something to happen, and you can't go on Sunday, and then you miss the whole series.
No, but look, this is the last home series of the regular season. I'm going to at least one. So unless my car breaks down or, God forbid something bad happens, Sunday I'll be there.
All right.
Will you be there Sunday?
Will I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when we do post game, you can have your camera out because my issues with YouTube and uploads. And
I don't know about Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Jay Soaks just reminded us in YouTube.
Oh man. I will say this: if you're going to go to any of the games this weekend, get there early because you've got graduation this weekend, always Mother's Day weekend at Carolina.
Oh,
So graduation, you've got baseball game, you've got women's lacrosse hosting the first round of their tournament, and you've got men's lacrosse hosting. So it's going to be an absolute
brutal.
crazy, especially Sunday, because graduation's always that Mother's Day, that Sunday. Sunday, if you're going to the game, get there early. I would recommend don't even go. I know Rams Head's the closest deck to the Bosch. Don't even go to Rams Head. Go to Craig, maybe even up near the hospital. Park there and just walk, because it's unless you're there super early, you're not going to find parking at Rams Head deck. So,
well, there you go. Travel agent, parking agent here, Andrew. All right, well, let's talk some Carolina softball. Heck of a win
big
today,
time.
taking down number 7 seed Clemson by a score of 4-2 by the number 10 seed Carolina. I mean, our hat tips. I feel like he had it teed up.
Yeah, he had that typed up, just hit enter. He was ready for that.
Jill living good for president, queen of the world, whatever title she wants. Honestly, look, I've called Jill living good as a future star or a star in the making. I've actually said that on the episode, a star in the making, if not already a star for Carolina softball. You could see it early on this year when she took the mound. And listen to this. I want everybody to listen to this right now, because here it is. 4 innings pitched tonight. Let's see here. I had it right here. Where'd it go? Gosh, dang it. The star has arrived, Alex
One
says.
hit. Four innings pitched, 1 hit.
Yep.
Only gave up 1 hit.
Only gave up 1 hit against Clemson, which is known to be a very good program, right? She comes there on the conference stage with all the eyes on her and holds it down. And what I really like and what I really love about Jill Livingood's game is her passion. Man, if you ever
She'll show some emotion.
Yet she will show some emotion. There's
a lot of emotion.
There's no question about it. Like, she shows emotion, not even when there's a strikeout involved.
Yeah.
Like, even just a put out from the outfielder, she's like slapping that person on the back. Like, she just turns around and congratulates everybody. And I loved, after the game, I was watching on TV, and Kendall Frost, who was the starting pitcher today, I believe that she was. I wasn't able to first inning, so second inning I got into it, and I saw Kendall on the mound, I think it was, and I saw them hugging after the game and embracing each other, and I just love that moment. So I am so excited. I am so proud of this team for, man, just staying true to their craft. And I guess I'm just feeling so passionate right now because I've been so connected with them this year. Just amazing people, an amazing program. And the athletes and the student athletes there have been nothing more over than just incredible to me. And
I'll say this about Jill too, is, she shows that emotion after a big out, but she locks right back in. I love watching, especially in baseball, the pitcher on the mound, their body language. And for her, no matter what the situation is, whether there's bases empty or someone on base, whether she's giving up a hit or whether it's a big out, she gets the ball, and I love watching her because she spins the ball in her hands. I don't know if you've ever watch her next time she pitches, maybe tomorrow, but she does this thing where she gets the ball back and she paces to the back of the mound and she's spinning the ball in her hands the whole time. And to me, it's super cool. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but she locks right back in. So when she has that big out or that big moment, and she has that, kind of emotional explosion, for lack of a better word, she locks right back in and is ready to attack the next batter. So it's 3 spins. I've noticed it's really cool. She spins it 3 times and then boom, she's right there ready to pitch.
Also, I will say, if you want to know who was tweeting behind the Carolina softball account, there was an admin reveal today on Carolina softball page. I'm actually very surprised that Alex did that, because anytime I try to give him love on an episode or in person. He's like, no, man, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Such a humble guy. So go check that out if you want to, I don't know, if you just strangely want to know what Alice looks like. It's out there in the world now. But hey, another congratulations to Emily. I think this was a Rev invention here. Got to give him credit because I didn't earlier.
Emily Legoat.
Emily Leggett. It's actually Rev. You should be very happy. She has the team, I should say, has adopted that name. It's like 50-50 from E-Leg and Legoat. So we can all credit that, which really, I mean, kind of like that name wouldn't have been around if Hills on Franklin wouldn't have came this year and covered Carolina softball. So shout out to Rev for that. And he says, I love it there. And also Alex behind the Carolina softball account says there, I did not want to post that LOL. Yeah. So shout out to E-Leg, Emily Leggett for getting first team all ACC this year. I mean, just an incredible year. If you really want to get in-depth knowledge about how powerful this offense has been for Carolina softball this year, you need to go back and not listen at this week's coaches show because there wasn't one because they were prepping for the ACC tournament. But go back last week. It was two coaches on one episode. I was super honored. Had Coach Smith join, of course, and then Coach Line hop on with me for about 30 minutes and talk about this offense from top to bottom of just how many records have been broken. And then also shout out to Sanaa Thompson for getting and earning second team all ACC honors. So shout out to both of them. It is quite interesting. You look, and I know there's only a certain amount of slots, and I'll take first team and second team for them. Not I take, but I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that. But if you really look at Carolina's offense and how many,
you could have had more.
But yeah,
I'll just say it. You could have had more.
Yes, not Rob for sure. Carolina softball there should have been first team. I mean, one of the best catches, I think. I mean, the Florida State shortstop, incredible athlete there. I mean, she's definitely. I don't know. I don't know if I should say deserving, because like there's so many because you're so passionate about the players you cheer for, right? But I mean, like in herself, I will say she was deserving of that award, right? Mm-hmm. Torres, I believe, is her last name. Shortstop for Florida State.
Be careful now.
I know. I'm not saying that she's not deserving, right? Because I'm not trying to sound like that she's deserving over a player at Carolina, right? I mean, it's just because we're a Carolina podcast, right? I can't I could, but anyway, she got the award. I mean, that's great. That's great for her. Like, she's had an amazing season. I mean, she's one of the best in the country, right? I've talked about her with other people. I mean, she's phenomenal. I mean, every game has been incredible. But when you're looking at Carolina's offense and how many averages are like 350s, 360s, 340s, it's just wild that none other made even second team.
Yeah, I was immediately surprised. You know, I watched that video and I was kind of expecting 3 or 4. You know, there's like you said, there's a handful of players that could have been on, first team, second team, on and on. So I was surprised there's only 2. And again, no knock on them because both of them were definitely deserving. But I think others were deserving as well.
Who you got?
I think Barbie.
Yeah,
definitely. Tarpey potentially. Blackwell potentially. I mean, there's a lot that you could go through and say, hey, you can make a case for really any of those 5 to have been on some whether it's honorable mention or first team, second team. You can make arguments for all of them to some degree.
I mean, you can't have an offense that powerful. I mean, because they're not just like they're ranking nationally, right, across the national rankings, that their offense as a whole, right? 1 or 2 players don't just make up the whole offense.
Yeah.
right? When it gets to that level of national rankings. I mean, yeah, I think
that's what makes it what gets so dangerous is you can't pitch around her. Because you pitch around her, well, then you've got somebody else coming up who is an amazing hitter too. So, I mean, I feel like if it was just one or two players, you could pitch around an Emily Leggett or, hang on the corners against Sanaa, don't really go down the middle, but you can't do that because every player in this Carolina lineup has the ability to put runs up on the board.
Yeah, and the coaching staff has related it. Definitely Coach Lyon has related that to, Emily Leggett, being Barry Bonds and Shelby Barbie being Jeff Kent, right? I mean, Jeff Kent's in the Hall of Fame, but Barry Bonds kind of gets all the, the glory, I guess you would say, just because of mostly the home run. I mean, phenomenal hitter, right? But Jeff Kent, I mean, in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah. I mean, just Shelby from last year to this year, incredible, like turnaround offensively.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more about kind of like the offense and how they performed as a whole this year, I would go back to not this week because there wasn't one, but last week's coach's show. It was really, really in depth. And Andrew, want to talk about anything else? I do want to set for Carolina softball. I do want to mention that tomorrow at 5:00, it has now been released that Carolina will take on Duke, no other than the team down the road, Duke, the number 2 seed, which if you follow Carolina softball, which I hope you do, or you just know through listening to this show, right, that Carolina did steal a game from them early on this year. They did lose the series there, lost the overall series, lost 2 games, but was able to steal one. So what's your overall thoughts here, Andrew?
I'll say this. I think today was without question a must win. This is a team that they've struggled lately to really kind of put games away. Me and Trevor talked last week. They could have won that series on the road at Virginia Tech. They had a couple really heartbreaking losses, but they had to win today. They're on the bubble. So a win tomorrow would be huge moving forward into the selection show. No, hey, let's just end all doubt. Let's just win the entire thing, right? Let's win the ACC tournament. But a win tomorrow would be huge, but they had to win today. Clemson's number 22 in the country, not an easy team. That was huge. But what I really love today is how they won. We've seen a lot of games this year when they won where they've put up a ton of runs. They didn't put up a ton of runs today. It was 4-2. It was 4-2. Was it the third, fourth inning? I mean, Jill Livingood was phenomenal. Shut Clemson out the entire time she was in the game, right? And so we've had a lot of games this year where Carolina's had to score a lot of runs. Today, I think they only had 4 or 5 hits. I think it was 4 hits. So the bats didn't do a whole lot. The pitching said, you know what, we got you. And the pitching put the bats on their back and really, brought home the win. The bats did enough. They walked. I think at one point they had 6 or 7 walks. So they walked enough. They got on base. But today was a win. We haven't seen a whole lot like that this year, where the pitching's like, you know what, you're not scoring a ton. We got this under control. So it was nice to see, like you said, great outing from Kendall Frost, great outing from Jill Livingood. Nice to see, and that's some confidence and momentum going into tomorrow as they play a really, really good Duke team.
Very good Duke team. I do know that a friend of the podcast here, and also just a friend of my, before I even started Heels on Franklin or even, Tar Pit podcast, Dennis Goss, who I think last year attended over 200, I don't know, like 200 and some games in one year. He wrote a book about it and it's on Amazon. But he did send me this. He said ESPN says at RPI 48 right now for Carolina, I think it was, we need 2 ACC tourney wins to make the NCAA. Says an RPI of 46 is the highest to make the tourney previously.
That's dude, shout out to Dennis because that's a fantastic bit of information. Yeah. So I mean, again, today you had to win. If you didn't win today, you're in really bad shape. Win today was huge. Win tomorrow, and I feel like you can. Again, you'll still be a little nervous, but I think you'll be feeling pretty comfortable come selection show that you're in the tournament. So tomorrow, hey, let's go win another one.
So I gotta ask Carolina softball here. Are they asking for me to shout out Kendall Frost for the third time? That's the question. Because I have already done it twice. I did it at the beginning of the episode, and I did it like 10 minutes ago. So look, shout out to Kendall Frost. Started out the game there. Incredible performance. And like I said already, love the embrace that those two had together. And I will say, I know that this season has not gone the way that a lot of bystander fans would say, or how even the coaching staff for overall would want it to go. I don't want to speak for them, right? I'm sure we're going to hear from Coach after the season. Definitely for the way that the season did start. And what I mean by bystander fans, or I can't remember the word I just used, is ones that don't really keep up with it.
They look at the record and that's about it.
Yeah, the box score and that's about it. Is that I am just incredibly proud of this team for just continuing to fight. Yeah. They got back from FSU at 2 a.m. on a Sunday night. I arrived at the softball facility at 8:30 on Monday morning. So Monday morning they arrived back at 2 o'clock, I guess I should say. I arrived at the facility at 8:30. And then, softball, Alex there. Alex is softball. Alex met me there to start unloading. Also, shout out to Jeff Blackwell for helping me unload, which is a massive help.
Blackwood.
What did I say? Blackwell.
You're getting Raina and
see,
Jeff.
I did that 2 episodes ago. Shout out to my guy, Jeff Blackwood, which it really does go a long way after having neck surgery a year and a half ago. I'm still dealing with issues, as a lot of you know. But I was at 9 o'clock. Here comes Kendall Frost into the facility, and nobody else was there with her. And she was in the batting cages. No, she was in the pitching cages, and she was just over there setting. You could just see her through because we filmed that episode in the dugout, and you out of the corner of your eye, if you looked over, you could see her setting up like the dummy hitters, so she could actually, throw to something. And yeah, it was just really neat to experience that, right? As kind of somebody on the outside, looking in. And so, man, I'm just super proud that they've just continued to fight and continue to show up.
I'll say this
throughout
too.
This year.
Regardless of what happens tomorrow, regardless of what happens on selection day, the foundation's been laid. And this is a program that, is I think over the next 2, 3, 4 years is just going to continue to be on the rise, higher and higher up. Coach Smith, Coach Lyon, I mean, they've got something really, really good brewing and building in Chapel Hill.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, two coaches show again. Our last one that we had was so informative. Just even from a recruiting standpoint as well. I mean, there's been recruits out there that Coach Smith and the staff have gotten committed to Carolina that didn't even know Carolina softball existed until like they were starting to be recruited by Carolina softball this year or like 2 years ago or whatever. I mean, since this new staff came on.
I know I'm biased, but I don't know how you. I said a few weeks ago, I think Carolina softball has, out of all the great Carolina uniforms, they have the best threads. If I'm a recruit, you just got to show me the jersey. Show me the jersey and the helmet, and I'm like, where do I sign? Like, just like I don't even care about anything else. I'm seeing these threads. I'm seeing these helmets. Give me the paper. Let me sign my name. I'm coming to Chapel Hill.
Okay, so the question has to be asked: Are you a recruit that is going off flash, like an organ?
Yeah.
Are you going off the super traditional of an Alabama? Because there's something can be said if you are a true, I don't know, a football head, I guess you could say, or baseball head, right? Like there is something like nostalgia and perfect about Alabama uniforms.
Yeah.
Right. Or are you going for someone like Carolina where they do keep good 3 to 4 rotational, and all of them are top tier.
That's tough. I'm not going Alabama. I know it's classic. I know the Penn State white and blue is classic, but to me, it's just ugly. Give me the give me Carolina. I know I'm biased. I will take Oregon too, man. If it's flashy, I gotta look good while I'm out there, right? I'm not,
because you definitely ain't playing good. I'm kidding.
No, no. I'm sitting the bench. I'm not getting in the game, right? But like I gotta like when I put that uniform on and I look in the mirror, I gotta feel some confidence, right? Alabama, you're not giving me that confidence when I throw on that gear. Penn State, Auburn, I'm not getting that, right? But when I throw on that Carolina uniform or that Oregon uniform, or I'm trying to think some others that are just really good. Texas, man. Oh, man. And I know Texas is kind of classic too. But give me that burnt orange.
Dude,
Man,
come on.
I'm
I don't
looking
know.
good.
It's hard to do like white good, but Penn State just does white good.
I don't like it. I can't. To me, they have the worst uniforms in college sports, at least in college football. I will say their basketball uniforms are a bit better, but Penn State's football uniforms, if I was a top recruit in football, they're immediately off my list just because of those uniforms.
I will say that was a funny comment by Devin. East Carolina's Petey, old school Petey.
Sweet.
And then also the script that's kind of like
the Pirates.
Yeah, like that. Well, I grew up in Greenville, so like I don't know. I went to a ton of East Carolina games. Yes, I used to cheer for them way back in the day. But Rev says you gotta have a mix of looking good and premium competitive program.
Yeah.
All I ask is we have to get Chrome back.
Yes.
Like, give me a Chrome. Can you do well? If Notre Dame can have gold, I understand it's like they're one of their main color ways, but which is not a good argument then. Give me a Chrome softball or baseball lid. How sick would that be?
That would be sweet.
And give me a freaking Navy uniform.
I love the Navy. Yeah, that's a subject that's very touchy for some. Some people don't like the Navy. I love it. And I will say this is probably the only time on this show you'll ever hear me say something positive about NC State. The Slobber and Wolf is a top tier logo. It is one of the best logos in college sports. They're alternate with the wolf head with, he's slobbering everywhere. Fantastic. Really in North Carolina in general, we have some
no.
solid.
Duke's retro logo is horrific.
It is. Theirs is bad. I do like Duke's basketball.
I do like the Duke script.
Alternates. The Gothic script or whatever that is. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Duke's their one helmet too that has like the it's not even royal blue. It's like a neon blue almost of the devil on the side. Nah, I don't like that. Their throwback is ugly. But North Carolina as a whole has some good uniforms. Like the State. ECU's fantastic. State has some good alternates. Obviously, Carolina. Campbell's baseball threads are amazing.
He took it out of my mouth again.
Sorry. Yeah, their baseball threads are phenomenal. And their football helmet. Football helmet is sweet.
Don't sleep on Wake Forest either. Like Wake Forest does gold, that gold and black really well.
Yeah. Wake had this year, because Krispy Kreme's from Winston. They had a cream colored alternate baseball uniform. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Dude, see both of you guys. I was about to say sweet. I was about to say, Boone. I love their old school logo, their retro logo.
Yeah.
But Rev says always take the over.
Look, we're an hour and a half in. Always take the over. Go up on call sheet and put whatever you can bet on whatever you want. Always take the over.
But then the extra question bonus, like get an extra whatever, right? Is it Chris's fault or Andrew's fault?
I think it's probably mine. I feel like I go off on these tangents talking about hot dogs and uniforms, and
I indulge them though.
You do. But hey, I could be on here for hours. Like I said, I'm not good at much in life. I can't build things. I can't fix things. I'm not the smartest, but I can talk. That's about the only gift God gave me, and I use it to the best of my ability.
Is listening one of them?
Not really.
With
My wife will tell you no. My mom will tell you no. My daughter would probably agree that, I try to listen. I feel like I'm getting better, but it's a work in progress.
This is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Rev, you're part to blame too. It's not just me. This is a multifaceted situation we got here.
All right, so everybody, look, send your love and your positive vibes like Carolina softball. I think they said send positive vibes. Yeah, send all the vibes, right? 5 p.m. ACC Network taking on the team over there in Durham. Duke, who is very good this year, number 2 seed in the tournament. Carolina's number 2 seed, which they took down Clemson today. Huge congrats to them. We appreciate everybody being here. Carolina softball. Rev, it's good to see Jay Suggs in here, even though we didn't get to this question. Sorry about that. Devin, don't pay attention to the comments. I'm just highlighting the people that are here. Strickland, definitely agree with this. If we took anything away from the talk of uniforms tonight, Navy uniform with chrome helmet got to make their way back. I do think, though, it will be so sick to get like Navy baseball, softball uniforms with the chrome lids when they come up to bat.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I love it.
That would be, I don't know. It'd probably be too perfect. Like it's too common sense to happen, right?
It'd bring tears to my eyes. I don't think I'd be able to focus on the game. So, hey, anything. I did put out a tweet the other day. It's hard to mess up Carolina uniforms, but whatever those abominations were from what was that 2012 to I noticed Marquise Williams my tweet about that.
Yeah, the Marquise and Brent, like Brim was a part of those days too. But, like their years intertwined in those uniform days that you're mentioning. Because I was doing some work with Bryn for the podcast. I've come trying to find photos. I've come across on the scroll past it.
Stay out of those.
Scroll past it real quick. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, those again. It's hard to mess up Carolina blue, but whoever agreed to that and whoever did that with the black and that font, they screwed it up big time.
Jay Suggs says, imagine Sup Dogs closed down talking hot dogs. Armageddon.
I'll say this: Sup Dogs hot dogs are not the best.
Dude,
they're okay.
I
like Sup Dogs. I do.
Sup sauce is where it's at, bro.
But I'm getting a burger at Sup Dogs over the hot dogs every time.
And Devin says, it's nobody's fault. The show is awesome.
Thank you.
Even the tangents. Thank you. And we do understand. We know that we are not for everybody. And that is okay. And I've said so many times that we made a decision early on with the Tar Pit podcast and then branching into Hills on Franklin and covering other sports that we wanted to be different. We do know that we do lose people. And we do not have some listeners because we are not always quick to the point. When we hop on, we check in with each other. When we're in the midst of conversations, we do go off on a tangent sometimes. That is because we made a decision early on that we were going to treat Hills on Franklin Tar Pit podcast like a family. We want you guys to know us like I have my friend like down the road or whatever, right? Like Andrew knows me off this show, right? So many times, being out, like, and Andrew, I don't know if it's happened to you yet, but like, it happened to me at Wake Forest this year at Carolina football games, right? Like, hey, you're Chris from Tar Pit podcast. Like, hey, how's your neck doing? Like, hey, how's your family doing? Hey, I remember you said this on the episode. What's up with that? And it just helps us build community with our listeners because for us, it's much like Carolina sports. For us, this is so much more than just talking like box scores.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we made that decision very, very early on. We wouldn't know Rev, right? We wouldn't know Devin.
Even none of the name. I mean, you said your reasoning behind the name Hills on Franklin. That's the meeting spot. That's where we all go.
Yep.
After a win or a loss, no matter what the situation, like it's all about that sense of community.
All Tar Heel fans meet on Franklin Street. That's why it's Hills on Franklin. So Rev did say authenticity. I'm not sure what that next word means. Polished puff bags. Maybe
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I like it.
I might need to change my Twitter username to @UNC polished puff bag or something. I like that.
I like that. Devin says, I am all about the grassroots shows that feel like a family. I will pick that show every time over the standard sports media. Yep. I can't keep reading that. I don't want to get any shade.
I agree.
Any other platforms, but we do appreciate you, Devin. It was a greater sign. Oh, okay. I got you. LOL.
Oh, I thought you were calling us polished puff bags, and I took that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm not a polished puff bag.
Over my head there. Devin, do appreciate your comment. Rev, do appreciate you being here. Jay Suggs, everybody here tonight. Strickland, even Trevor Williams, Tar Heels for life, I think. Or it was. But look, hopefully see you at the Bosch this weekend. Congrats to Carolina softball. Hopefully Carolina baseball will come away with a series dub, if not sweep. If not, you can blame it on Andrew, because last time that he did no disrespect type of sentence, we lost a series to Boston College. And
we won the series.
We did? Yeah, we won that series, but it was very close.
Game one. Could have very easily lost. Shout out to all the graduates, too. Shout out to the grads this weekend.
Yes.
Tar Heel for life.
Yeah, Tar Heel for life. So if we do lose, you can hop in Andrew's mentions.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can say that. That would be
he just went. He came in hot at the very end with that.
I know. Look, I'm trying to close the show. Dadgummit. Rev,
just post it on the screen. We don't read it.
Okay. Yep. Gonna just everybody read it. I cannot mention this.
And Suggs says I need to shave the beard. Trust me. Look, the beard hides what's underneath. You don't want to see me next week without a beard. We have low numbers, so the beard stays.
All
Sorry.
right. I'm getting out of here. I'm not reading another comment, or I'm not putting another comment up on the screen. All right, look, we appreciate everybody tapping in. We love you guys. Thank you. Subscribe, follow, comment, turn on the bell notification, do the whole 9 yards. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next show. Until next time, go Heels.
Thank you for listening to Heels on the Diamond, presented by Heels on Franklin. If this episode hit the mark, do us a favor. Like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support keeps the podcast rolling. You can find all episodes on the Heels on Franklin YouTube channel and on Spotify. So whether you like watching or listening, we've got you covered. We will see you next time.